Welcome to Custom Made in New York podcast, reminding women of their worth 1 week at a time. This show is dedicated to all women, custom made especially to win. I'm your host, Raven Joseph. Thank you for listening. So Custom Made in New York podcast started this year, January, and it's more so I've been talking about self-care and self-love and just growth as women of color. So today's episode is our first live episode, and this is my first guest, and I have the honor of introducing Jessica Sinclair. She's the CEO and founder of her own company, and she's a host. She's now an author, and I'm going to invite her on, and we're going to talk about networking and how networking can help us grow as individuals, whether we're entrepreneurs ourselves or career women. So if you have any questions, just feel free to comment them, and I'm going to try to share them, but I'm going to invite her on now. Hi, Jessica. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
How's it going?
I am well today. Thank you. I have my little makeup on.
I'm glad. How many times I keep thanking you for just being here, because I know you're an essential worker and like taking your time just to talk to us. I really, really appreciate it.
No worries. It's all about, spreading the knowledge to help someone else achieve success. So I'm happy to be here and to be your first live guest. So the bar is now set, honey.
Yeah. It is. It's pretty high. It is. So what are some things that you're doing to take care of yourself now that you're super busy?
So much. I mean, to take care of myself. So I do the remedies, right? I just want to put it out there that I love holistic medicine. I come from a Jamaican household. I need everyone to get the garlic, the turmeric, the ginger, put them in a glass, put some honey. You can also peel the lemon skin, peel the orange skin, and put some hot water, because this disease, or virus, if you will, it isn't prolonged if you drink hot fluid. So I encourage everyone in the morning just to drink something hot, build up that immune system with the items that I just mentioned, the garlic, the ginger, the lemon peel, the orange peel, and really get your body where it needs to be. We're going through so much stress, mental stress, and that takes a toll on our bodies. So the more you replenish is the best for you to combat not even getting the disease, but to have a shortened, shorter than the 2 weeks that some people are suffering. It'll go a little bit quicker if you build up your immune system.
Thank you. So with the information you're sharing, I see so much on social media now, and I just wonder, like, where are we supposed to actually get our information from? Because like the government is just weird right now. Like where do we find accurate information about like what we should be doing, our next steps and stuff like that?
I love that question, because as I do more of these Zoom talks, persons are finding information in the wrong places. So you need to go on the CDC .gov. Also go on the WHO, that's the World Health Organization. Even them, they're not perfect. As you guys know, daily things are changing, and this is something that we've never seen before. So I think people should be a little bit more patient with these entities that are changing protocol. We are all reacting and we're not thinking. And I think that's the issue here, is that one day it's okay to wear a mask and the next day it's not. I think that everyone is in charge of their own body, and all of these sources are just places where you can gather the information. So again, the remedies are working. The home remedies are working. There is no cure for this disease.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, these are the things that are helping people. And of course, the people that are getting help, they don't have the platform. So this is why shows like yours is so necessary, because back home, we've been doing this for years. This is something that's new. Honey and lime. This is our foundation as West Indian people. So we are not alarmed when we see the trends that are social media that people are taking holistic medicine more seriously. And this is how, it gets into the families when you see something like a mom or a dad and you incorporate it. I know about this stuff since I was a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have asthma, but my dad used to beat up my chest through the cupping. Little things like that goes a long way. And a lot of people that are suffering, it's all respiratory. You need someone to do the cupping on your back. You don't really hear a lot of information on that.
At all. That's the first I'm actually hearing about it from when it started.
Right. So, as a nurse, one of my jobs, and I think that it comes natural to me, is to have these talks. You have nurses that don't have a platform; they feel voiceless. So, if I can just help one person, I think that I'm doing the right thing as far as advocacy for our people.
Yeah, and I saw that you have a certification now. Can you tell us more about that certification?
So Shante Carter, I'm actually the co-founder of Nurses of Integrity alongside her. And let me tell you something. She's one of those nurses that are very resourceful. And she goes to me, listen, I took this course. It's something that's great, obviously, for the resume, but now you can have these conversations with the community and you have that support, you have that backing. So I think it was an hour course on the internet. I can share that link for any of the nurses that are tuning in. You do have to be a healthcare professional, and it qualifies you to be able to have conversations about the coronavirus and tell people about the signs and symptoms, because like I told you, there's a lot of wrong information out there. And so now I'm certified to have the dialogue with you guys.
Well, thank you for taking your time to take that step.
Thank you.
So you're a nurse, but you're also an entrepreneur. Can you tell us more about your business?
So I started my business actually in 2016, and I started it actually the day I graduated from Nassau Community College. I knew that there was more for me. I have a background in public relations. A lot of people don't really know about it. It's one of these things, like I call myself a Jessie of all trades.
Yeah.
My background is in communication. Yeah, the recession, just to catch you guys up to speed, the recession happened. I left PR, and a lot of West Indian persons, if they're checking in, your parent wants you to be the doctor, the lawyer. Right? They don't really see entrepreneurship as a real means to an end. And at that time, I knew that I didn't want to go back into PR. I didn't, hanging out with the celebrities was great, but I didn't really feel fulfilled. And we'll talk a little bit about what fulfillment looks like when you're on this journey. So I ended up as a medical secretary for 2 years at a hospital on the surgical floor. And the doctors and nurses was just like, we love how you communicate. You make the patients feel so comfortable. Why don't you consider nursing? And I'm like, no. You know what I mean? But I knew that I had a voice. I knew that I can communicate very well. So I said, it's a no-brainer for you to start a business in communication, but I didn't know how. Until I started getting called to host events. And I'm like, I'm doing this for free for a whole year. As a startup, you got to show people your worth.
Yeah.
And, I say the rest is history. I'm in year 3. And as a brand, you have to lay the foundation. You're not going to go from 0 to 100, honestly, real quick. It really doesn't happen overnight. I don't know what overnight success looks like. I've been working hard for the past 3 years nonstop. And I think that people believe in you sometimes more than you believe in yourself. And I took myself seriously about 2 years ago when I started building a team and people started believing in me. So I think the first thing that you need to do is understand what that journey looks like, but also understand what it looks like for other people looking in at you as this young woman. I mean, people call me Little Oprah. It scares me that they're titling me such, because I know I'm in 3 years in this business.
Yeah.
But why they're saying it, because I'm extremely passionate about everything that I do. Every degree that I've accrued, I've done it to a system. I'm very systematic. I take chances, but it just has to work in my formula. And we'll talk about that, I guess, later.
Awesome. So how did networking allow you to get to the place that you are now?
And it makes me emotional because I started networking in a way, and I say in a way, I started networking, I think, in a system that really works for people who are already clicky. Like, let me say that again. So you're networking, you're the newbie, coming out of nursing school. Again, they're like, but you're a nurse. So you have to kind of change people's mindset when you're networking. And you can't tell them everything that you're doing, right? You got to hold on to certain things. So yes, I teach my students, when you're pitching yourself, give me the top 3 things. So I had to see the value in my top 3 things first while I was networking for other people to buy in. Networking takes time, and I think that I was very consistent, which is everything as you're starting a business. I wasn't coming to this event not walking away with 3 contacts. Okay, I would not leave that event and not follow up with you in 24 hours. I was a beast that way, and so I was doing a lot of things that people weren't doing. They were taking the connect for granted. I never take a connect for granted. And I ask them how I can help them before I ask them what they need from me, if that makes sense, because I have to show them that I'm a valuable player. I think when people network, their intention is to get the plugs connect, but they don't know how to help the plug, so I've been helping a lot of people along the way. So networking kind of started to become easier for me because I have a system in how I network. I network very strategically. I'm not going to every event. I'm not staying at every event until the end. You just have to find a way to value your time, and time is currency.
So before we actually get into the strategy part, I wanted to ask you, like, people who are uncomfortable with just going to events, like I heard you say a lot, I went to events and I'm being strategic about those events.
Right.
But how do we get there? Like, people who don't feel comfortable speaking or saying hello first, like, how do you encourage people to get out of that comfort zone?
So, it goes back to the tip number 1. I didn't really start off this conversation in a systematic way, but when you understand your why, when you understand that why has to be so tight because you're going to be afraid. That why has to be so secure because you are now putting yourself out there. Fear is an emotion that will cripple you. And I said to myself, yeah, I want to network. I don't know how, but I have to figure out a way to have that voice. You can't tell me, Jess, I want to be a Fortune 500 company tomorrow, and you're not willing to understand what it takes to get there, but better yet, how to stay there and go against the odds, right? Maybe I was born with a natural knack to have a skill, right? So people are like, oh, you're a natural. But at the end of the day, there's days when I'm like, I can't do it. But I go back to my why. You have to establish your why. And that why has to be something that is so unbreakable. So, for my why was generational wealth. How was I going to do that if I'm scared? How am I going to show my niece and nephews that I can do this if I'm scared? So again, it fuels you. Your why fuels you, and it'll allow you to be fearless. I can never go back to that Jessica 2 years ago because I have evolved, but 2, my why is everywhere in my room. I'm a Post-it queen. So I have to have these reminders because it's so easy to fall off the why. It really is, because you will let fear cripple you. You have to trick yourself to walk around fearless because it's not easy. And so when you're there in the room and you don't want to say hi, go back to that why.
So then you are always like, sometimes I feel like in a situation, because I know, like, I'm a teacher, right? We're educators. So if we're trying to move up the ladder at work, how do we do so? How do we network by being ourselves and being genuine and not feeling like we have to, like, basically kiss people's asses to get where we want to be, right? In our career.
So I don't know what kiss ass is. I don't know what that means, right? So, I break the rules. I'm not telling you guys, like, I don't know what it is, over time you build the confidence. I tell my students networking takes time, number 1, but you have to know what your values are. you have to know what you bring to the table. Because once you secure your education, yes, you went to school. School teaches you tools, but now you have to go out there and put those tools to practice. You have to know your worth. You have to know your confidence. You have to know when you go to that superintendent, you have something viable that they want, right? And if they don't know they want it, it's your job to teach them. You have to teach people how to do business, right? You have to teach people every single day. A lot of people did not get raised like you. They don't have the same gusto like you. My gusto is what allows me to flourish in these rooms because my energy is really unmatched. And why is it unmatched? Because I know what my why is. And my why keeps me up. I have a book right now. I'm going to show you a little notebook. It stays on the side of my bed because it says to me, why can't I? So you, the person, have to know, A, what you bring to the table. You have to be confident to go in that room and claim that space, right? And it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but you have to build on your skill set. You can't come into the room demanding a seat and you're not ready, hon. And I think a lot of people are not ready. So when people tell them they're not ready, they believe in it, but they don't know how to fix it because no one taught them the system. No one taught them steps. I get proposals that people send me and they're just terrible. You don't see your value, so I'm not going to see your value. It's that simple. It's that simple. So before you go to that superintendent, make sure you have that proposal that's tight. Make sure you email someone to review it. I have a friend. If I'm getting interviewed, I'm sending him to spell check because you don't know everything. You know what I mean? But I think to answer your question, you have to know what skills you own, why are you valuable, why should they say yes to you? There are things that you need to do before you even claim that space. I think a lot of people are not prepared.
Right.
Not prepared.
I definitely make sure that I find something to do to beef up my skills personally with myself, like once a month. I actually have a budget that's separate from my bills just to make sure that I'm creating space for myself to build, right? So looking at your strategy that you use, what can you tell us? What's the formula? What's the secret sauce for networking?
So, that's such a good question. There's quite a few formulas, and of course, y'all gotta sign up for my class. But
I'm gonna get there.
But if I could tell you guys one thing about the tips or the sauce, it's really implementation, right? Implementation is something that I learned in nursing. So I want to tell you guys something really quick, that no matter where you are in life right now, you're there for a reason, right? Every situation that you're facing right now, you're going to pull that to your next journey, as I say, or your next pillar, right? So I think what I understood very well is that, number one, I invest in my resource. I invest in my education. What you said was very bingo. You need to have a separate account. I call that my research account. That's tip number 2, right? How are you pouring into yourself and your growth, right? Do you need a coach? Because they're out there, right? Do you need a mentor? Or do you need a sponsor? Those are 2 different words I use interchangeably because they mean 2 different things, right? How are you using your time to implement this plan to network like you mean it? So again, it goes by to what's your why. That can take up to 2 days to develop because everybody's why is different. You need to attach your why, and this is very important. You need to attach your why to an emotional cause, right? So for me, my why is that my father still works as a cab driver, right? There's no benefits there. He works long hours. There's no real economic freedom. There's so many things that is keeping him there. So for me, my emotional tie for my why is to get my dad from there. You see what I'm saying? Your why doesn't necessarily have to be about you, but it'll tie in, it'll fuel you to keep on going. So my first pillar to my system is defining my why, right? And understanding what it takes to implement that why into having everybody else buy into that why. Because when I connect with someone, they ask me, right, why should I hire you? So then I'm like, all right, now I got to go to my core values. What are your core values as a person, right? Every business has one. If you go on any website right now, guys, you're going to see a core value or a mission statement. What is your personal mission statement? So this allows you to say no to a connect that doesn't tap into your core. I think a lot of people are to be misled and to change who they are for Custom Made New York or whoever it is, because people are in the business to win, right? So you have to know what your core values are, right? So you have your why. Okay, cool. All right. So I said I want economic relief for my father. All right, boom. Now, how am I going to implement this plan now that I have this secure why? My core values. My core values, I have 3 core values that if they are not aligned with this, I say no to a deal. Okay? I say no to an event. When, like I said, first year, you may be saying yeah to everything, right? Yeah. Why? I said yes because I wanted to see how the mechanics are once you start being in different rooms. Watch people. Nursing is such a great profession because it teaches you how to be observational. You have to watch the patient first, right? So again, where you are in life is going to teach you survival. It's going to teach you how to communicate with people. You have persons from the housekeeper to the CEO. I'm a sweetheart to them because that housekeeper may be working on a secret plan and I may need them. I think that also as a culture, we belittle people based on their income, not on their knowledge. Let me say that again. Your housekeeper could know an investor and boom, your next big thing came off the floor because you said good morning to her every day or him. We can't belittle people. We have to stop doing that, right? So to go back to my core values, it's like this. Does it make me happy? Right? Will others benefit from it? And 3, what's the value? Because not every gig is a paid gig, but I may get that brand exposure that I'm looking at. And I think too with networking, some people are not valuing collaborations, especially the Black and brown community. That may be a whole conversation. I get riled up. We say no, but we're not looking at the process.
Yeah.
It goes back to the why, right? So I have these core values within my why that I had to carve out for me to stay, for me to stay on brand. You know what I mean? You know, it's just so bigger than getting that business card. Like, I have this business card, but I don't know what to do with it because I have no foundation.
So business cards are canceled?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm just showing you that. But you see my card here, I take notes. Like, I'm so strategic with gathering contacts and treating them so well that this is money. This is access.
Okay.
This is like your American Express card, but you got to know how to utilize this. And I think a lot of people are not utilizing their contacts well because that person didn't come through for them that one time. You know.
Yeah.
So you just have to, like I said, you have to have a system with networking. So you can't just start and not have the tools ready because you always have to be prepared.
So you said something about like being able to collaborate, and I noticed like in conversations with us, like Black and brown people, right? When we're talking, they'll be complaining about, oh, they have us doing this. This is not in my job description. But like you said, you add that to your toolkit. You add that to your skill set. And I think we need to take advantage of that, especially if we're trying to move up. We can say, well, I did this project, even though, right, I wasn't a part of it or I wasn't lead, but these are the things that I learned. And now I can do about it.
Absolutely. I'm so great at that. I will come on board on something and I'll say to myself, all right, what could you do to highlight? Okay, so here's the thing, right? The sun rises and the sun sets. On what scale do you want to be on the collaborative team, if you will? So I want to be on that team when it's rising, not when it's set, because when it sets, I didn't add anything to this.
Yeah.
So you're only as good, I tell people, as what you bring to the table. If you are not confident, you're not going to know what you bring to the table. That one collaboration now just secured 3 other gigs for me. It happens all the time. It's a humanistic thing. Again, when you are in the room, all right, so I know that you have a podcast now. How do I secure you with some amazing talent? You may now talk to the talent and say, did you know that Jessica does X, Y, and Z? I just bought you a connect, and I just did it because I know you probably need more people. Like, mindset has to change. How does your mindset change? It's all great to follow Shorty from the block, but I'm going to go and follow someone else that can pour into me. I think people, too, are not strategically using social media to follow the right people. That's a whole nother, that's a tip in itself when it comes to your social appearance and what that looks like.
So now that we are all about social media, especially in this right now, this space, this time, how do you suggest, like, are there boundaries to networking through social media? Do you encourage it? Is this,
Yes, I encourage it, but I still need you to have some professionalism. Okay. So, a student of mine said, can I slide in someone's DM? Now, you're not going to say, hey, what it is. We're not using, and you people laugh, but I see it. Treat it like an email.
Yeah.
Treat it like an email. I mean, I know the DM, you don't have a subject, but good afternoon. How are you doing? Don't be like, hey, what it is, what it do, because we're not friends. And the turnover is quicker. For me to go log into my email takes time, right? But if I see that there's an alert, I'm going to hit it. And that person that has that professional 2 sentences, they got me. All you need is 2 sentences to bait and hook someone. Okay, that is a skill, right? What are you writing? And to go back to the email, what is your subject in your email looking like? Does it look like you're a telemarketer or a spammer? What are you bringing to that subject email to get it open? That's strategic. You can't just have anything anymore because there's so many more people out there doing what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? And so I love social media. Beef up the LinkedIn, beef up the Facebook, Twitter. There's so many platforms, but not every platform works for every business. I need you to research. You have to research what works for your field. Educators, where are the educators gathering? Are they in a Facebook group? And then when you're in these groups, what value are you bringing into the group?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When I start a group, I always have that one generic line. Hi, my name is Jessica Sinclair. This is what I do, but how can I help you? It's the same thing. Social media collaboration. It's the same thing as picking up a phone call. Because at the end of the day, John Brown doesn't want to talk to you on the phone. I have to take that personal. I'm like, oh, word, I'm not good enough. But I got used to understanding how time is like currency. I don't want to be on the phone right now either. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm here with you guys, of course. Yeah. But I'm saying if I can DM you really quick, though, I'm gonna use that to my benefit. I'm gonna make sure my headshot is professional. Take accountability of the types of photos that you're posting, right? Who are you posting with? Because the person next to you can hurt you. I don't think a lot of people are taking that. Yes, you want to probably take a picture with Diddy, but what is Diddy bringing to the value to your brand? They want to take a picture with a nonprofit lady instead. But that takes time to understand your brand and what your message is. What is your core values? So, I can go on and on, but I don't know if anybody has a question or how you would.
Yeah. Any questions in the chat?
Okay. Let's scroll up. People are saying hello. I don't know.
I didn't see any questions.
Okay.
Yes, more knowledge.
Okay, cool. I don't want to ignore anyone.
Okay, so with websites, is it even like, because there's so many social media platforms, do we need a website
for what?
For our branding, or can we just like say, oh, look at my IG or my portfolio? Like, do we need a website? Do we need to pay for that?
So a website now makes you more legit, right? It's just like having a storefront and you're selling bridal gowns. Let's say you're selling bridal gowns, but you have no landing page, right? Mm-hmm. So what's happening right now is called the landing page. You have all of these search engines on websites, not search engines. The Wix, these things that you can build your website on one sheet and they're free.
Whip it, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right? So I started out with one of those pages until I started getting more currency, and I said, all right, now I want to be up there with my inspirational people, right? So you start growing, you start pouring into the marketing side, because marketing is honestly what a lot of entrepreneurs want capital for, myself included, right? Marketing is how you go against the other brands, right? You see on your Facebook, on your Instagram, it says sponsored, right? And you put the money in and dot. So to answer your question, yes, I would invest in a website. Absolutely.
Okay.
Even if you're a motivational speaker, you're a podcast, because they're free now. Again, how are you standing out against the competition? Okay. You need to invest in your storefront. Okay. And your storefront could be a picture. Your store could be a bio, your mission. Companies want to know where you live, where your home is. Correct. Okay. Need something. Absolutely.
I have a question from Brown Celia. Okay. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, everyone. I think I see some familiar faces or names rather. Strong BK. Hello. Oh, Jarvis. Hi. Sinclair Management. Hello. D'Essence. Hi. While this question comes in. Marv Holmes. Hello. I know Marv. Oh, Candace just passed her board. She's my networking student, and she is now an RN.
Congratulations! Drink to that.
Marv, yes, Marv is also a small business owner. He is a general contractor. Anybody need a home right now or an office? Holla at him. I love my entrepreneurs.
I gotta get that Marv Holmes.
Marv Holmes. Holla at Marv Holmes.
All right. Follow him when I get off of this. So how do you accomplish going to school for nursing while maintaining a full-time job? Great question.
Excellent question. God. God, because, girl, it was, I don't know, is this a guy? Brown, Cecilia. Cecilia, let me tell you, it was hard. What did I do? So I worked 3 to 11. I fell asleep at red lights. A lot of things kept me on course. I prayed a lot. My last semester, Celia, I had to stop with the full time, and that's when I went part-time, because now the stakes are higher. You're doing clinical rotations. A lot more is expected of you, because you're closing in on the end of your tour, as they call it, as your nursing tour. But it is extremely hard. It's doable. I always say you are as strong as your situation. It definitely built character for me. When I finished nursing school, Celia, I said, if I can't finish this, I can't do anything else in life. It has made me no nonsense when it comes to business now, because I survived doing 2 hard things at the same time. So it's doable. You're nothing without your family and your team. I don't know if you have children or whatnot, but you need the village. You need the village to keep you going, for sure.
Definitely. Make sure you're managing that time.
It's everything. Time management is everything. It's one of the core values in nursing school. Again, that's why I told you guys earlier. Don't think where you are can't help you to where you're going, if that makes sense. So you are a bartender or whatever you are, a waiter or waitress. You're in a business of building relationships. It will help you later in life. I think she has another question.
Oh, let me scroll down. Sorry.
What'd she say?
I do work in a hospital and had to switch to attend. Thank you.
Yes, so that definitely, a lot of students do that. I'm not sure if you're talking about switch a shift or something like that, but hopefully you have a manager that is not a hater. They're out there. You have people, that's their job. You have to realize that too as you network. People's job is to make your life a little bit, I guess I'm going to say it, they make your job a living hell. They don't want you to win, Celia. My manager, I thought she was one of my biggest cheerleaders until I told her I got into school. See, once you put something out there as an idea,
that sounds familiar.
Right? You see what I'm saying? Once you put something as an idea, and then you put it to action. Remember, I'm all about actions. I'm all about a system, right? You need to have those SMART goals that you can manage, right? And so once I told her that I had something tangible that I got in, it was a whole different ballgame. She made sure I worked every weekend, right? So people will help you to a certain extent in life. It goes back to slavery, it goes back to our history. It goes back to colorism. And I think once we understand, again, you have to know your past. You have to know the foundations that were already predetermined for us, for you to understand where you're going. And so when a Black sister hurts me, I'd say it's not her fault. It really isn't. It's not his fault either. It's how they were brought up to know that. And there's a book called The Four Agreements. I got it as a gift.
That's good, yeah.
It teaches you why we operate the things that you can't take things personal. It's one of my favorites. It took me a while to understand that concept. So
I'm still learning that, but yeah. Absolutely.
And you know what? We're human, right?
Yeah.
We are one of the most emotional animals walking this green earth, or on this green earth, if you will. So to be a human is a lot. To be a human, to wake up every day, to put a smile on your face, it is a lot. Our brain, I'm sorry if I'm getting too scientific, but our brain is, how can I say it in a more simpler way? It's easier for our brain to go through hurt and fear than happiness. Our receptors have to go through so many channels just to smile and to be happy. And if you guys are, I'm not sure if you guys are on my newsletter, but I give monthly tips to help you with examples, to help you so you can understand how much work goes into networking like you mean it. It's something that has worked for me in the 3 years. I'm in places sometimes that I'm just like, how did I get here? Oh yeah, I understood why. You know what I mean? It's called the imposter syndrome. You guys can Google it.
Yeah.
It is a real thing.
I have an episode on that.
Oh, they do. Yeah. It's a real thing where we undervalue our worth and how we got to this, I call it rise to the occasion. But with me, I am very intellectual. I love to read. And so there's no way I can pour into my community if I haven't done the work. Like you said, oh, you got certified. No one told me to go get certified in covert. But I have a valuable team player in my circle. That's Shantae Carter. So when she sees something that can bring me to the next level, she's going to share it with me. And I think that, again, we still have not gotten it as a Black and brown community. Okay.
So how do you keep up with all of these different people that you're meeting, like through social media, through the events, like over the past 3 years?
Good question.
How do you keep up with like speaking to these people?
So one of the things that I do, and this is why I love a good business card, right? So what I do is I date my business cards, right? And if somebody doesn't have a business card, they say, hey, here's my phone number. I screenshot it, and then I put a note. And so, like I said, it takes time to create a system. So right now I have a database, right? First it was like a little email, and I upgraded. So now I have this system where I plug in my contact. It'll say where I met them. It'll say what they do, and it'll say how it can help them. And I'm very type A. So I want to nurture my relationships. Again, I can't stress that enough, that it's not about you when you're on this journey, right? Because you will always get what you're supposed to be. Let me rephrase that. What is for you will always be for you. Period. It took me some time to understand that. Okay, because I was watching what other people were doing. That wasted time, right? So as I accrue my contacts, I got to make sure I take care of those contacts. Even in my database, I had papers. Organization is key. You want to make sure that you have a system to stay in touch with people. Rather, it's a newsletter, an Excel. Find a way to stay in touch, to stay valid, to stay on top of that industry that you're in.
So you contact them like every month, like every year, like how does that work?
So it really depends on where I'm at, because right now yes, I'm a nurse, but the covert has taken me a little bit away from certain things. So it really depends on the season, but I like to stay in touch with persons. Now it's easier because now I have the newsletter once a month. It's a little bit easier for me to ask you what your needs are in a professional manner, or let's meet up, or what you're doing, let me repost and stuff like that. I can't stress enough that how a repost can be your next best thing for what you're trying to do. People send me things. Sure, what do I have to lose? Your flyer looks good though. As long as there's no grammatical errors, I see that you put effort into this event. I don't mind sharing or helping someone out that way. You have people that treat Instagram like property. It is property. Every post is an investment, and that's how I look at my social. I don't just post just anything. There has to be a method to what you're doing. Again, people want to be an entrepreneur. People are not investing in the time it takes to plant the seed. They just want to come up. Who's doing something that you're already doing? How do you volunteer? Again, collaboration is collaboration, I can't stress enough, will allow you to get the currency a little bit later. And everyone's need is different. That's why I say understand your why. I'm not here to tell anybody to quit their 9 to 5. Steve Jobs didn't even do that. But what I am going to tell you to do is understand the value, understand how much time is lost while you're at work, and how are you going to invest that time when you get home and you have a family. See, now I work part-time. I took a pay cut. I was making 80-something thousand to taking in a lot less to be able to have the discussions that I'm having now.
Right.
So you have to believe in your product and understand that you're suffering now, or I hate using the word suffer, but you're in a situation now that's a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Stay the course. You will make it. Ask the right questions. There's no stupid question. People, again, they think they're bothering people. I teach you that. You got to leave. When you're in a business, it's really not about you anymore, right? Now you have something that you're trying to get viable. You got to check your feelings at the door, man. You have to. You know what I mean?
That's some good advice for me, actually. My feelings.
We're depending on you now. Now you have this show, right? We need our voices heard. So now, if you don't show up, now you just cheated us an opportunity. You see what I just did there?
Yeah. I think I needed that.
Yeah. Don't cheat us, man. Hey, New York, we need people to share this platform. How hard is it to just hit one button? For some person, it's like $1 million button. It's like, who wants to be a millionaire? If I hit that button, someone say, yeah, that's true. Give me a break. Every other community has been doing this for years. You have the Jewish community, you have the Asian community, right? You have the Latino community. We're very intelligent people.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys looking at the statistics. Black women are leading with degrees, right? But I'm so happy about that. But sis, what are you doing now?
Yeah.
Right? What are you doing to bring us all in if you're on that leadership position? I think also with nursing, I know in my own right that I have these leadership skills, but because you have more years than me, you don't think that what I'm saying is valuable. And I think we have a lot of egos that block big breaks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I know you have the work network like you mean it, a nurse's journey to entrepreneurship and purpose. So where can we find that book?
So this book is now on Amazon. I released it actually last Monday. Thank you,
Congratulations.
Guys. Thank you for sharing, for putting the book in your. Some girls have their books on their couches, and I'm like, repost. I'm reposting. That's an extra thing for me to do. I want them to see the value, right, that they have bought from my book to even have it in their home. And B, it boosts me because this is a book by women.
Yeah.
For women. And I got at this table by being myself. A woman named Michelle, God bless you. She saw value in me. She saw that I'm posting other people's stuff. She saw that I'm out here. Started a workshop, guys, I started my workshop in Queens at one of those event halls. Then the next year I went to another event. The next 6 months I went to another event hall, and then I'm at Nassau Community College. So what's the value, right?
Yeah.
2 months ago, I was at St. John's teaching it. What's the value? You have to look at the value of the content that you're producing in order for others to see it. I never in my wildest mind or dreams, as you would, I have a vision board. It's on it, but I didn't know I was going to get that book this year. I said it was in my 5-year plan. So you have to be flexible. You have to show the love, because then people will show the love back. And if that person is not showing the love, to hell with them. To hell with them. You're counting your blessings. I love getting my blessings. You know what I mean? I'm a collector of blessings, so I can't stop with you because you have something that is bigger than me. Remember, I told you the 4 agreements. I can't take it personal anymore. You know, friends and family will stop supporting you. You got to keep on going. You can't take it personal anymore. You will find that the people that are in your network, because they're going through the same struggle as you, they get it. Your family and friends are not going to get it. It's a lonely game out there. Entrepreneurship is extremely lonely. You have to continue to connect the why with that emotion.
Yeah. So, Jessica, thank you so much for sitting in with me today. Can you let everyone know how they can get in touch with you?
Yes. So on my page, it's Jessica Sinclair. I have a link tree. You can sign up for my newsletter. There is a link there. My website is there. Also, you can check out my YouTube. Everything just has to be seamless when you're in this business. Remember, Instagram is your storefront until you get that website. Sign up. Every month you'll get tips. I also tell people where I'm going to be, what I'm doing, so you can also come into that network. It's like I said, it's not about me. It's about the community.
So network like you mean it. How can I get there? Because I want to sign up for that, actually.
So go on the link. So because of the COVID, of course, I had a lot of workshops. I had one at Microsoft. And of course, we're reworking everything. But all you do is sign up for the link, sign up for the newsletter, and then I will tell you when my next workshop will be.
Okay.
And we'll deep dive. So I have my top 20 tips. I have over 200 tips right now.
The tips from your book were really good too. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing.
Yes. So think of those tips as the starter. That's the tangible. Get your thoughts going. But then now, once you're in the network, I will give you more examples, and I can hold your hand if that one-on-one is needed. If you need that, some students need that. They just need more. They need more help to boost their confidence.
Right.
Everything. You can fake it until you make it. You know what I mean? And it's true. People do it all the time. But you want to be sustainable. So you want to have tools that can help you.
All right. Thank you so much. And everyone who tuned in, I really appreciate you all. This is our first live episode. Make sure you're following us, Custom Made in New York. And it's Jessica Sinclair on Instagram. And then you can find our links. We're going to be on Spotify tomorrow, YouTube, Apple Music, if you need to replay this episode. Okay? All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Hey, bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.